just, in my opinion, is completely unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. Like, if a coach did this to any other player in the league, they'd be fired. Caitlin Clark then goes and hits a step back three on JC Sheldon. And she goes, the whole crowd's going nuts. And she comes, and she's getting subbed off, by the way, at this stage. She's getting subbed off for the game. She doesn't go back in the game.
Why would a coach physically grab Caitlin Clark during a game? The moment it happened sparked massive backlash online, but what if this wasn't just about the incident? What if it's part of a deliberate effort to control one of the WNBA's brightest stars? Let's dive into what's really happening behind the scenes. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
I don't think it's any secret that I'm not a fan of the Indiana Fever backroom staff. I'm not a fan of what they're trying to do to Caitlin Clark. We've all said this. So Caitlin Clark has been knocked on her ass. She's been knocked on her ass. She's been cheap-shotted. She's been poked in the eye. Everything.
Did you catch the clip that's been blowing up social media? It's from the Indiana Fever's latest game, and let me tell you, it's a hard one to miss. Late in the third quarter, Caitlin Clark was right in her element, directing plays, calling for the ball, and refusing to back down. Suddenly, Karima Christmas Kelly stepped in. The assistant coach wasn't subtle about it either. She physically grabbed Clark by the arm, pulled her aside, and started talking to her in what looked like an intense exchange. The cameras caught it all, from Clark's surprised expression to Christmas Kelly's unrelenting grip. That's all it took to ignite an online firestorm. Here's what people have been saying. Was this just coaching, or did it cross the line? Some fans absolutely lost it, calling it completely unacceptable. One tweet blew up with the post, "This coach really put her hands on the face of the WNBA? Nah, you're done." Another comment read, "Imagine trying to silence the one player making your team relevant."
And I fully believe they're trying to diminish, they're trying to dim the flame of Caitlin. Caitlin Clark then goes and hits a step back three on JC Sheldon. And she goes, the whole crowd's going nuts. And she comes, and she's getting subbed off, by the way, at this stage. She's getting subbed off for the game. She doesn't go back in the game.
Analysts weighed in too, with some questioning whether this type of approach can even work with a player of Clark's caliber. You'll find plenty of takes, but one thing is clear: no one's neutral. This incident isn't happening in a vacuum. There's a history in sports of player-coach interactions turning into major controversies. Remember the time Bobby Knight physically grabbed Neil Reed back in the day? That spurred league-wide policy changes on how players and coaches interact. Or what about Jimmy Butler clashing publicly with Tom Thibodeau? These moments aren't just one-offs, they can live on as symbols. And the thing with Caitlin? This moment feels bigger than just a bad decision in the heat of the game. It starts to feel like a troubling pattern. You've got one of the most electric players in basketball, someone who draws fans, headlines, and sponsors, and instead of harnessing her talent, it looks like the team might be trying to keep her in check. But why? And more importantly, what's this costing the Fever? This isn't just about one bad move, it could signal deeper struggles ahead. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's transforming it. Since stepping into the WNBA, she's set off a ripple effect few athletes ever achieve.
And they're trying to make her fit in to what the WNBA used to be, rather than fit out and be her. Caitlin Clark is there hyping up the crowd. She's there trying to hype up the crowd. Exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. You want to see this version of Caitlin. You want to see this player.
Merchandise sales across the league skyrocketed by an unbelievable 234% after her debut. Think about that. It's not just Fever jerseys flying off the shelves. Her presence boosted the entire league. The Fever themselves have seen a meteoric rise in value, jumping from $90 million to $340 million almost overnight. She's not just a player, she's a brand, a movement, and, some would argue, the face of the future of the WNBA. But here's the strange thing. Instead of fully leaning into her superstardom, the Indiana Fever seem to be holding her back. Limited minutes? Check. Teammates ignoring her calls for the ball? There's that too. And then you've got moments like Karima Christmas Kelly literally pulling Clark aside in the middle of a game. What's the deal here?
It's just, in my opinion, is completely unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. Like, if a coach did this to any other player in the league, they'd be fired. And watch what happens here. So the coach just grabs her. Just grabs her out of nowhere. And I'm like, I don't think there's anything too malicious in that.
The franchise has a once-in-a-generation phenomenon on their roster, yet they're acting like they're trying to keep her in a box. Why would any team sabotage their own ticket to success? This isn't just speculation either. There are patterns. During games where she's clearly the hottest player on the court, she's mysteriously benched in key moments. You'll spot visible signs of frustration on her face as teammates repeatedly pass her over. Clark radiates energy and passion, but moments like these make her look isolated, almost like she's an outsider on her own team. And let's not forget, this isn't just bad for Caitlin, it's bad for business. A player who boosts league-wide popularity deserves space to shine, not restraints that dull her light. And here's the real kicker. If Clark feels stifled, how long until she looks for greener pastures?
And by the way, after this game, we talked about it, that she was emotionless. She was emotionless when they lost to Golden State. She has been emotionless in games. The referees are threatening a tech for hyping up the crowd. Go take your tech. This is sports. This is sports. You take a tech. I don't care. We treat this sport like it's men's sport.
Big market teams, ones desperate for someone with her star power, would welcome her with open arms. Losing her wouldn't just hurt the Fever. It would drastically shift the league's dynamics. Caitlin Clark represents a new wave in the WNBA. Resisting that change doesn't just threaten one team's future, it challenges everything they're building. Can the Fever afford to risk that? The Indiana Fever are at a breaking point. They can either embrace Caitlin Clark's star power or risk losing her and everything she's brought to the team and the league. Her impact isn't just on the court, it's financial, cultural, and transformative. Fans have called out the coach's actions, and the message is loud and clear: stop stifling her. If the Fever can't recognize her potential, another team surely will.
Let's be real, that was right before the Valkyries game. The Valkyries game that realistically just kind of broke her. And that's what everyone said, where they were like, Caitlin, they were like, oh, Caitlin, people saying Caitlin's an angel. No one ever said Caitlin's an angel, but she became emotionless.
Caitlin Clark is reshaping the WNBA right now, but the real question is, are the Fever ready to rise with her, or will they crumble under the pressure of change?